Is it haunted? What's the history of your house?
There was a like a ghost of a child in the garage for like a month, or 2 months, but she's gone, and I don't understand why she left.
Why is Shane gasping?
Why are you gasping?
Boo bitch. It's me, the ghost from Jeffree Star's garage. So, let's get into today's video. Hi, my name is Berlin. Welcome if you haven't been here before, or welcome back if you're coming back again. So, this video today is going to be all about Ryland's podcast, The Sip. If you don't know, Ryland Adams, Shane Dawson's partner, hosts a podcast which he then puts up on YouTube. So, it was Ryland, Jeffree Star, Lizzie, the co-host. Now, it wasn't an in-depth interview. It was basically a lot of silly stuff, what I call silly stuff. You know, they were talking a lot about Jeffree possibly doing porn and all this kind of sexualized stuff. It was quite a sexualized podcast. They were talking about sexual fantasies and all that kind of stuff. You know, this podcast, they didn't at all go into things that the fans or people who were fans of Jeffree Star actually want to hear. It was a lot of like mucking about, really. Yeah, there was some serious moments where, you know, they talked about Jeffree losing 2 dogs and all of that stuff, but a lot of it was kind of jokey, sexualized. You know, they also mentioned about Jeffree Star possibly coming out with a book, an autobiography, but honestly, Ryland didn't ask any like hard-hitting questions or anything. It was just kind of fun, jokey. They did mention the pandemic and how they think everybody's feeling a bit hopeless, and also, you know, how can they uplift people. But honestly, I was left really disappointed by the whole podcast. I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but when I saw it, I just thought, oh my God, this is a shit show. One thing I'm going to mention before I go any further is if you go on the YouTube video for this podcast, all the comments underneath are strangely very positive comments. There were a couple of little digs at drama channels. Hi. And then all the other comments are really, really positive, kind of woo, glowing comments, which is really bizarre because if you went on Twitter where Ryland posted, oh, you know, the link to the podcast, here we go, the podcast's out, there was so many negative comments. If you went on Instagram, underneath that post, there were so many negative comments. So my theory is that they're absolutely deleting negative comments from underneath the YouTube video. Let's get into some of the negative comments that I found on Twitter, because honestly, the majority of the comments were negative underneath that post. People are really not happy that Ryland has joined forces with Jeffree Star on this podcast. So, of course, people on Twitter had their opinions about the podcast. Here's what Shayna had to say. This is so bad. A huge F you to fans who decided to give you the benefit of the doubt. Unbelievably, utterly tone deaf and doubling down on bringing heat onto Shane. Way to go. T-Channel Spill Sesh also commented on the podcast saying, I can't believe they thought this podcast was a good idea. I'm dead, with a skull emoji. Someone else responded to her with, they don't care. We all know Jeffree loves drama and Ryland loves attention. I said what I said. Going straight down underneath Ryland's tweet about the podcast, you've got no, please, no. Someone else put, oh Lord. Someone else has put, yuck. Rev has said, no, we won't let you try and soften and fix their image. They are what they are, no matter how you paint them. We expected better from you. That was just for starters. That was just a few little examples of the comments underneath Ryland's Twitter post. So if you go and look under there, boom, 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 one after the other, negative comments. Exactly the same on Instagram. Boom, 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 all the way down, negative comments. So how come when you go over to the YouTube video of the podcast, it's all, wow, amazing, we love it. They're definitely deleting any negative comments under that YouTube video. So they are absolutely trying to control the narrative. They want you to think everybody loved this podcast, when in reality, that really wasn't the thesis. You know, a lot of people had a lot to say. Instagram, Twitter, you know, not having it, not here for it. But, you know, aside from that, As I mentioned, they didn't get into any kind of deep topics, any kind of hard-hitting questions, nothing like that. It was all silly, jokey, sexualized stuff. Most of it, you know, and they really just didn't address anything about Jeffree's scandals this summer. You know, none of the racism, nothing like that. Nothing about these sexual assault allegations that have come up about Jeffree either. So, more on that. If you look at this clip from Jeffree on stage, probably at Warped Tour or something, I don't know. But if you look at this clip from Jeffree on stage, he's there telling people what will happen if they touch his crotch.
If anyone ever touches my crotch again, I will beat your motherfucking ass outside, bitch.
You got that? Jeffree on stage telling the crowd if any of them mother effers touch his crotch again, he will take them outside and beat their mother effing ass. So, let's look at this next clip, shall we?
I knew it was big.
So there you had Jeffree Star touching a guy's dick, little grabby, feely, without consent, I might add. And that was perfectly fine. And I'm guessing it's around the same kind of time period, you know, because it was at Warped Tour. So it was when Jeffree was touring. So when Jeffree is performing, you know, oh, if you touched him, he's going to take you outside and beat your ass. But if Jeffree's walking along and he sees you and he wants to grab your peen, oh, that's a different story. That's just him having a laugh, whatever. That's perfectly fine. Oh my God. This is such a fucking double standard. You know, how is it okay for Jeffree to just touch someone's crotch, grab at someone's genitals, but he doesn't like it being done to him? Technically, it's sexual assault. So, you know, Jeffree knows it's wrong as well at this point. Because he's been on stage there threatening people who do it to him. He doesn't like it. So why is it then all right for him to go and do that to somebody else? Make it make sense. Okay, now this is where things get a little bit darker, because honestly, Cat 10 Barge came out with this article back in October where there were 4 people who claimed that Jeffree Star had sexually assaulted them. 3 of those people were paid off with $10,000 in hush money to retract their statements. Shut up, don't talk about it. So this article's come out. People are aware of these rumours, these allegations about Jeffree Star. Chris Avery Bennett was the one person who didn't take that $10,000 payout from Jeffree Star. Chris Avery Bennett is trans and has actually been in touch with me via Twitter. So I asked her if I could use this clip and also the screenshot that I'm about to show you in the video, and I've asked her if I could talk about this. She gave me permission, so I'm going to talk about this because honestly, I think it's important to hear her voice because she was actually there at the time. She actually went through stuff with Jeffree, so she's had actual first-hand experience of what Jeffree Star has been like. So I think it's really important to amplify her voice, and that's what I'm going to do. And this is a receipt from Chris Avery Bennett. It says, oh my God, I have one about him with a taser screaming the F word in a screamo voice he would do to intimidate people and clicking the taser like he is some bleep. I watched him scream, what the fuck, look at you, you old bitch, or something like that in this old lady's face. Then he called her N-word as we walked away. I was like covering my face. It was funny at the time, but like the fuck. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That sounds like him, 100%.
Assaulting the elderly and using your reputation to lure minors into your home so you can perform predatory actions on them? Can't relate.
So she's one of the people that has had very bad experiences with Jeffree Star in the past, and she's now coming on Twitter and saying that she's going to release more receipts. I don't know, time will tell, but honestly, I'm proud of her for not taking that $10,000 payout, honestly, because, you know, if you've been through a sexual assault, then $10,000 in my mind is nothing in compensation. It is a trauma, you know, it is a trauma that you go through, and mentally what you go through when you've been through a sexual assault or a rape or something like that, $10,000 wouldn't shut me up in that situation Absolutely not. So I'm really, really proud of Chris for not taking that money. And, you know, I hope that Chris can get some kind of justice or whatever for what happened to them. So I'm going to move on now, and we're going to go back to talking about Ryland's podcast. There was a moment where Ryland asked Jeffree about the summer and about the scandal. They didn't go really deep into it, but it was basically just a lot of Jeffree kind of whining about how the fact that he was cancelled and he went through mental abuse and all of this. Here we go.
Drama, like, I know Shane and I could take a moment. We took a breath. We stopped working for a while, really like got to reflect and decide how we wanted to move forward. And I think for someone like you, it's not really an option when you have hundreds of employees and different launches piling up that you have to carry on.
Let's talk about it.
How did you push through? And I mean,
He's like blunt.
I went on a 30-day medical leave and I came back. No, it was, it's crazy because you don't just get to, I couldn't just like turn off my brand and walk away. Not that I ever wanted to do that, but I think when everything happened this summer, it was just all so crazy. It was just a lot. It was so mentally draining and crazy, and it was traumatic, right? So I was inspired by all the people on my team that wanted to, you know, I think without them, I don't know where I'd be right now, right?
Yeah.
But my entire staff and team really came behind me, and they're like, you know, they were showing their love and how they really believed in me. And we've been creating so many ideas for, you know, for years. There's some formulas and things that we worked on for years. So I couldn't just say, hey, all of it's over. Like, we're just gonna come back when I'm feeling okay. So they kind of helped me really push through and get over those hard feelings, but it was rough.
I know we're all human. I know we've all got feelings, but this very much sounded like Jeffree playing the victim. When you consider that he's got people out there who he's allegedly sexually assaulted, he doesn't get to sit there now and play the victim. What about the people that he's hurt? All the other beauty influencers that he's talked behind their back or slagged off, you know, these people that he's allegedly assaulted, people that he shot at with a taser in the past. You know, he doesn't get to sit there and play the victim when he's traumatized so many other people. It just doesn't work like that. You don't get to do that. And also, there was a moment in the podcast where they talked about, you know, oh, why don't more people see Jeffree as an inspiration? It's like they think people are jealous of him because he's that rich. Honestly, it was another one of those, oh, I came from nothing, you know, I had nothing moments. You did have privilege though, Jeffree. Jeffree had a lot of privilege when he started his makeup brand. He knew people like Kat Von D who put him in touch with labs, put him in touch with the right people so that he could get off to a good start. He was also kind of a celebrity because of MySpace. He had his following. A lot of people knew who he was. So when he then went on and released makeup, there were already people queuing up to buy it. So Jeffree Star absolutely had an advantage over everybody else who doesn't have that social media following and doesn't have MySpace fame and doesn't have friends like Kat Von D to put them in touch with the right people. He absolutely had an advantage that other people don't have. He had those privileges. But oh no, it was all, oh, I came from nothing, you know, I've done it all myself as per usual. I'm calling bullshit on it. You know, everything is just bullshit as far as I'm concerned. He's not capable of taking accountability for his past actions. He's not capable of being humble. It's really ridiculous at this point, you know. So many people have walked away from Jeffree Star's brand because of Jeffree Star's actions this year. Honestly, I see his brand really suffering. You know, look at the Blood Money palette. It's not sold out on Beauty Bay. It's not sold out on his website. It's not sold out on Beautylish. That tells me something because me as a customer, as a consumer, as someone who loves makeup, I've bought every Jeffree Star collection up until now. I haven't bought this one. You know, I've bought everyone up until now. The fans, the consumers, the customers, whatever you want to call it, these are the people that have supported Jeffree Star financially. These are the people that have given him the business and the lifestyle that he's got. The other day, Jeffree Star was on Twitter doing a giveaway and it's, you know, a Cash App giveaway. Let me tell you something about that. Justin Bieber, last time he did a Cash App giveaway, he's partnered with Cash App. Him and another celebrity. Cash App pays these celebrities to do these giveaways because it gets more people to sign up to Cash App. So, you know, it looks like they're doing a lovely thing. And of course, I'm not saying it isn't lovely, because it is lovely to help people out. Of course it is, especially now with the pandemic, with everything going on. Of course, it's wonderful to help people. But he never discloses that it's, you know, in partnership with Cash App or anything like that. He always comes on and says, oh, you know, I'm doing this with my own money, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, Justin Bieber, sorry, I nearly said Justin Timberlake then. Justin Bieber, when he did it, he came out and he said, oh, partnering with, you know, my friend, this celebrity, and Cash App, you know, so he disclosed it. Oh, this is a partnership with Cash App. Jeffree Star never discloses it when he does these giveaways. Never. But Jeffree Star wants to kind of act like, oh, he's doing this good deed, you know, this is his way of giving back. He loves giving back. But yet, you know, you've got all his fans and supporters who've been let down by him this year. He's taken no accountability and no responsibility for these allegations made against him, the actions that he's done in his past, the way that he's treated people. He's taken no accountability for it. There's no growth. None. But he doesn't feel like he owes his fans an explanation. He doesn't feel like he owes his paying customers an explanation for it. And these are the people that have supported him and got him to where he is. Of course, I'm not saying that Jeffree hasn't done a lot of hard work, because obviously, yes, he has. But he wouldn't be where he is now without all of his paying customers and supporters. Have a little bit of respect. Show people that you care. Because right now, we don't think you do. Woo! Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave this video right here. So I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, take care, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.